This was supposed to be a simple job, but the more I look at this clutch, the more I realise this BMW R1150GS might be hiding another serious problem. Okay, following from my previous video on my GS here, the clutch does not work. Okay, the reason for it, the clutch slave is completely blown. So today I'm going to be replacing the clutch slave cylinder. It is a little bit of a job to do with just such a little part. I don't know why BMW themselves didn't think about this, being that it's a consumable part. I don't know why they did not make access to this a bit easier. I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video, but I'm going to sort of like show you little bits and bobs on how to get to it, and you can work everything out yourself. It's pretty easy. But what I show you might be enough just to get everything off, especially if you're quite mechanically minded anyway. Let's get to it. Start stripping the back end of this off and get to that clutch slave. First things first is I need to take off the back seat. On this model, the back end has to literally be completely stripped. We have to get this back end up here. I'll show you how to do that later. We're going to have to take the wheel off, we're going to have to take the exhaust off just to get to that. It is fairly easy to do. This bike does come apart absolutely beautifully, as you're going to see in a second. First things first, I want to get this tank off. What a start to my bloody video. Put batteries in cameras. What a newbie mistake. Joking aside, I did not realise what problems await me. On this bike, I haven't got it, but there should be a bolt and everything in there. I am going to get a bolt and get a mount put in there. It just didn't come with the bike. I do now have this plastic bit that goes across here. First things you need to do is, once you've taken that off, you need to just unclip the fuel lines, and underneath the fuel tank here, I'll show you in a second, you need to disconnect the fuel pump and wires to the sender. So much for non-spill. With the bolt missing and the wrong fuel couplings been put in, you could hear it in my voice just a second ago that I know this is not going to be easy. So my issue was just then, I'm not sure if you could see, but I've spilled petrol all over the floor. The reason I spilled petrol all over the floor is because whoever put the fuel connectors, the couplers, they're supposed to be no drip. They aren't put on this. You pull the connector off and it just pours out. Not very good. You really need those non-drip connectors. So it looks like that's another thing I need to order. So I'm just going to get my clamps and I want to clamp the hose. What an absolute mess that made. Okay, I'm going to clean that off the floor just so that if it decides to ignite, there's not too much. Nobody likes their bikes going up in flames. Have some breather pipes here you just need to pull out. You want to disconnect just these cables right here. Now the tank should freely come off. It does make it a lot easier if you do not have much fuel in the tank in the first place. Okay, and now I can get to everything. I want to disconnect the battery. If there's anything in this video which you see I do wrong or I could correct it, let me know. Just write it down there. I'll look at it and I'll make sure that I'll get it right for next time. Just make sure I take the negative or the neutral. Don't want to be too negative now, do we? But yeah, take the negative off first. That's just so that when I come to taking off the positive, imagine if the tank was on, then it's not going to earth and potentially cause any damage. Not that it will. These bikes nowadays have fuses and everything, and it's pretty safe, but you never can be too safe. Now you want to take off this air filter pipe. There's only one screw here, it's pretty easy. Oh, get my trusty magnet tray, form all my bolts, put it down there, and then you want to take off, there's a sensor up here for the airbox. Just whip that off and just take off the diagnostics plug, and there's two Phillips screws just on top. You just want to undo them. This is for the airbox. I will put the air filter, new air filter that I've got, back in here. It has got a performance K&N air filter in here, but it smells a bit, looks a bit dirty, and I'd rather just use the ep01 because I do not know if this bike is tuned or anything, and I imagine it's not, so I don't see the point in a performance air filter. Hence why I'm going to be changing the standard exhaust back to a cat, because it'll just run better. Yes, you have to take this battery out, unfortunately. Wow, the whole loom is just falling apart. I'm just going to have to retape all this. I won't show you guys me doing that. It's tedious, there's no point. But whilst I got everything off, I will be doing that. This was just the first sign that this bike has not been as well looked after as I thought. I just hope that there's not going to be a more serious issue that puts a stop to my build. I'm now taking off the wheel and the exhaust. If you've got an impact gun, use it on this, so much easier. Or if you've got a friend hanging around, tell him to step on the back brake, or put it into gear and then crank it. Just inspecting the pads, they seem all good. Inspecting the seal, I can't see anything leaking. I will do an oil change and service on that, so I'll make sure that it has kept oil by measuring the amount of oil that comes out. That's on the diff and on the gearbox. Time to take the exhaust off, very straightforward. What? Ah, is it? It's an Allen key. Yeah, it's an Allen key. My friend did a really good job at welding this exhaust bracket on. It's nice to have friends in different trades. I could have welded it myself, but I'm nowhere near as experienced. The outcome would probably have been the same, but it would have took me longer. I'm just not ready to learn how to weld with stick just now. And my MIG, I've got no more gas and no more wire, and I thought I'll do him a favour, he'd do me a favour. So after taking off this one bolt, as you just saw me do, you then undo this one down here as well, and you undo one this side, and there's one on the other side. Then you will have to undo a middle one here, disconnect the O2 sensor cable, so that's 3 on this section of the exhaust, and then 1 either side holding the exhaust mount itself together, and the exhaust mount up here. Literally, I'm going to edit this as least as possible so you get to see this in real time, and this is how long it actually takes, with the exception of me pausing like this every now and then. But this is so I can talk to you. So wiggle, pull back, both sides should come off. Easy as that. Now I'm going to go to the other side and take off the O2 sensor. When you follow this O2 sensor, you will see it on the right hand side, just here. Okay, it might be tucked round, but it's on this metal bar, and you just take that off. Oh, I see why they changed this. The weight difference. That's got to be at least, I don't know, 9 kilo. 9 kilo lighter. Must be. If I'm wrong, what is the difference there for you enthusiasts out there? Where the battery tray is, I need to take off 2 bolts there. Or should I say undo 2 nuts. So 1 nut there, another nut there, just underneath the battery itself. You'll find that there's another one. This one's loose. I can undo this with my fingers, but inside the airbox itself, just there. And that one's a torque bit. And this is the first of many bolts that I find loose, which is quite worrying. Where was it going? Where was you going? What was you looking at then? Was you trying to get foot pics? So in a lot of the videos they say about removing this whole swing arm and everything. I'm going to see whether I don't have to, and whether I can get away with just lifting the top of this up. But in order to do that, I need to remove the suspension. So to try and keep everything sort of in place, I'm going to put something underneath here to stop this dropping out completely. Oh, did I not tell you? 1 Allen bolt at the bottom, 1 bolt at the top. There you go, that is free now. So you're going to have to remove the front seat height blocks. My tool collection underneath the bike's building up. Right, that's about to come out, so I'm going to get ready to hold the suspension. But just before I do that, I want to take this adjuster off. This right here confirms my suspicion that someone else has already been here previously. Someone had put some copper slip on that, how nice of them. Make sure the suspension don't go anywhere. There's copper slip up here as well. Let me go wash my hands and put the gloves on. So you can see that I'm not cheating, my hands are clean now. Can you tell me why they're stopping putting powder from inside the gloves? Every glove that I seem to buy now is always powderless. But I do really like these extra tough gloves with the grip feel on them. Love them. Okay, back to it. I'm just going to undo the tubes that go to the throttle bodies here, because I'm going to want to slide them in. Unfortunately with this side, I couldn't seem to slide the tube itself into the airbox. I spent about 5 to 10 minutes just trying to pull on it. The other side slid in no problem, so I just decided to leave this and deal with it when I actually pull the whole back end up. So what I'm having to do now is take out this bolt that's just here, take out the lower bolt here, but just unnick the top one, leave it in. Let's give you a closer view. So this one on the footrest you pull off, pull out completely, which is the first one that I will pull out. One behind the injectors just here. You pull that Allen bolt out there and you just loosen this one and do the same on the other side. Damn, I'm glad I'm taking this apart because that shouldn't be like this. So I'm gonna have to do that up. It just goes to show when you buy a bike, you just can't just buy it and then ride it, especially when they're a bit older, higher miles, and just how this looked like it had been through the walls a bit. Now this isn't down to the previous owner. Obviously they more likely just did not know anything about this. Well, he wouldn't have sold it to me otherwise. But I'm glad that I'm actually doing this because I'm now able to do all these little bits up and make it safe for myself to ride. I'm just glad that this didn't fail whilst the previous owner was riding it. So I've just pulled out the top bolt on this side, and there's no washer in this one, but there was a washer on that side. So this bike previously, in the past, whenever it has been done in its lifetime, has been apart, and bits haven't been tightened up properly, and they haven't had washers put back in and stuff. So I'm going to really have to, behind the scenes, really go over this bike, because if I'm going to be doing what I want to do to this bike and going off road, touring and doing endurance riding, I'm going to have to check everything over. And if you're thinking about doing the same thing with a project, and please check your bike over. In a minute you're going to find out why it's so important to check your bike over. Also an airbox bolt just down here. And airbox bolt on the other side. Take the brake off. It's very easy. Ah, look, there's not a split pin just in there, so I'm gonna have to look at that afterwards. So this comes out really easily. The ABS sensor will just have to be unscrewed and taken off. The ABS sensor is a Torx bolt and it is size T20. And undo just here the brake sensor switch for the rear brake light. So that line comes up to here, and you need to just undo this one switch. I'm also going to remove the rear brake line holder just here. Connecting to the brake here, you've got this little connection, so just round the back you want to undo a nut just there. But that was easy enough. Just moving all the wires out of the way for this airbox comes out pretty easy. I didn't get that on there, but this airbox, after lifting it up, does come out really, really easily. There we are. That's the little baby that we're after. As I was taking this apart, I wondered what this little thing was here. I was like, wait, have I missed something? What on earth? That was literally just sitting behind the thing like this, and then it just popped out when I was lifting up the back end, and I did not know what this is. This bleed screw here, this thing here, it causes me problems. This is the bleed for this, and this is the slave cylinder we need to pull out. So let's get in there and pull it out. Everything is stripped back now, And in the next episode, we're finally going to see what's actually been going on inside this bike. The next video is going to be good because I have a problem which could put a stop to the whole build.